talked to a couple players after the game, and all they could look up was the scoreboard and see 30 points and 400 yards. Didn't think it was much of a performance. What did you think after you saw defensively?
Yeah, you watch the tape, it's never as good as you think or never as bad, and that was definitely the case on Saturday. I thought we played a lot of really good defense for most of the game. It was the last two drives that we weren't able to get stops, and for 66 plays we held them 16 points, and then they scored 14 in the last 9. And so we just got to find a way to finish it, find a way to get another takeaway, find a way to get another stop, and get the ball back to our offense. Twice in that fourth quarter it was a 2-point game. I had opportunities to get a stop and get the ball back to them, and that's what we got to do. That's what our job is.
Outside of putting the quarterback on the ground, it seemed like the pass rush was improved.
Yeah, I thought we did do a good job. We were able to get pressure on him and stuff like that. He threw under duress. We got some hits on him and then a couple sacks, But that's got to be, part of every single week, that we got to be able to get pressure on the quarterback. It's hard to play coverage for, a long period of time with today's offenses, because they got all these receivers out there and they got a lot of talent out there, especially a team like Purdue was the number one passing offense in the Big Ten last year, and so they threw the ball on everybody.
What do you think you guys learned from playing against a guy like David Bell?
He's a really good receiver, and for much of the game we held him down in the fourth quarter. Those last two drives, he got away from us a little bit. But, it was good to see our corners be able to match up against him and do a good job for most of the game against him.
Hawaii threw for 300 yards in their game last against Portland State. I guess, how do you compare those two games with your secondary and the defensive line, just to kind of prepare for that?
Yeah, obviously, two different results for Hawaii. Week one against UCLA, and then a different result against Portland State. And so, we know that they got talent. We know that they're good. And obviously, the Mountain West teams had a lot of success in our league last week. And so, we can't overlook this team by any stretch. We know we got to go out and play our best game, and to get a win on Saturday night.
You mentioned that you guys gave up that last 14 points late in the game. When you played Hawaii 2 years ago, similar situation, they kind of just took over in that fourth quarter. I guess, how do you make sure history doesn't repeat itself? I mean, is that a lesson the older guys preach, or does that just happen in practice?
Yeah, obviously this is a completely different team than 2 years ago. We got some guys who played in that game and stuff like that, but every year your team is completely different. You try to learn lessons from the past, and but just, it's a different team, a different feel. We got to go out and execute the way that we can, and then I feel good about our chances. But if we don't come ready to play, it's going to be a tough night.
Is there something from the first game that surprised you, or maybe you weren't expecting from your defense, good or bad?
Well, I kind of mentioned earlier, I was pleased with our pass rush for most of the game. I thought he was under duress, and he wasn't able to just sit back there. And, he gets the ball out pretty quick, but if he had to take a little bit of time, there was some pressure on him and flushing and getting in his face. And so that was good to see. And then, even early on, we got a couple of key, 3 and outs and stuff like that to get the ball to our offense, and we got to continue to build on that.
How nice was it to get some production from younger guys like Sione Lolohea, Ryan Frankie, even Corey Stover before the targeting?
Yeah, it's great. We got a mix of obviously older guys, and we got some super older guys, those super seniors, and then we got some young guys that are playing for us, and to have all those guys out there contributing. That's what you need. We need about 18 to 22 guys every single week playing on defense, and being able to rotate guys out there and contribute for us.
You mentioned the targeting. I mean, it just still seems like something that is arbitrary and hard to figure out. I mean, how do you deal with that? Do you talk to them about that? How do you prepare for it?
Yeah, you try to coach up, the scenarios, especially closing in on the quarterback. We talk about a strike zone a lot like baseball, trying to hit him between the shoulders and the knees. And just it's hard with a tall guy like Stover. 6'5", 6'6", to get his shoulders down and everything like that below, so he doesn't hit the quarterback. I don't think it was intentional, but he ended up hitting them, and that's the way they got to call it nowadays.
Was the defensive line play better than it has been, and what's
I thought we did a really good job against the run. We were able to hold them down from a running standpoint, and I thought we were able to generate more inside pass rush in this game than we had in previous games.
You think you're going to see Shad a little bit more this week? Got a couple snaps in, Keontae Shad.
Yeah, we're hoping so. He's practiced more this week than he has in a while, so hopefully he can get on the field a little bit more.
What did you see from Ray John in his first game as a starter? It looked like, even though David Bell statistically put up some good numbers, he was able to compete with him.
Yeah, I thought Ray, for his first real start and everything like that, and first season of the game, I think he played almost every single snap of the game. Did a nice job. I thought it was a compliment to our strength and conditioning staff, You know what I mean? It was a hot night out there and a long game, and most of our secondary, you know, our conditioning was great. They were able to hold up and play for a long period of time, and so that was good. But I thought Ray did a nice job, and I expect him to continue to improve as the season goes on.
Statistically, Omar and Avery didn't miss a beat. I guess how refreshing was that just to set the tone for the season?
Yeah, you know, both of those guys had great years last year, and then for them to jump right in where they left off last year and be guys that we can just count on to make plays for us. And so, you know, I mean, I know Avery's saying there's probably 3 plays that he wishes he could have had back and made those plays, but both of those guys are extremely productive for us, and we need that to continue.
Now, last season, I know you guys didn't produce as many sacks as you wanted. Anjay had that huge one trying to get that stop. How nice was that to see, again, to set the tone and just see those guys who can make plays, make them, and as you said, not get them
well,
back?
you know, we showed that one clip on Sunday with our guys. I'm like, look, this is just a normal first and second down call. This wasn't like a blitz to try to get there. We had guys executing exactly right and being able to get pressure and sack the quarterback. And so it wasn't like we schemed it up so a guy could get. You know what I mean? Like, it was just guys doing their job and executing it at a high level and being able to get to the quarterback. And that's what we need. We can't just always be able to put them in that position where every single time guessing the right protection and those types of things. That sometimes our guys got to beat their guy, and that's what happened on that play.
Is that something that is maybe one of the biggest differences from when you took over here?
For sure.
The guys being able to execute.
The guys being able to win, you know what I mean, and out execute the guy that they're lined up on. And so, and that's what we need. At a certain point, you got to beat the guy lined up across from you. And whether you're talking offense or defense or special teams, in order to win games, you got to out-execute them. And there's only so much we can do schematically. We try to put them in great spots all the time, but at the end of the day, they got a guy to block our guy, or they got a guy running a route against our guy, and I got to win that one-on-one matchup. And the more that you win, the more successful you're going to be.
Just one takeaway, were there not many opportunities missed, or what did you see?
Yeah, Ray had that one that he had a great break on it and dropped the interception.
Right.
It would have been an awesome play if he would have been able to hold on to it. Trying to get a few more maybe strip attempts on the ball, but there wasn't like a ton where we dropped interceptions or anything like that. And so we just got to continue to keep pressure on the quarterback and hopefully get a few errant balls that we can pick off.
Yeah.